Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Together Games. Today we're going to be looking at a really unique tile laying game called Kingdomino. It's for 2 to 4 players. Let's get to the table and build our kingdom.
Hey guys, my name's David.
I'm Ryan.
And we are Board Together Games. Our channel is dedicated to bringing quality board game content to people who are new to the hobby and families. And we do that by bringing you game reviews of excellent games, just like this one. This one's called Kingdomino, and it was inevitable that we do this one, right? Yeah, this one was just, I guess a week ago, announced as the winner of the German Game of the Year, the Spiel des Jahres, for 2017. And it's been getting quite the buzz, so you're going to find a lot of content about this game out there, including our review here today. So thank you for joining us. Kingdomino is a 2 to 4 player tile laying game that plays in about 15 minutes for ages 8 and up, and it's designed by Bruno Cathala, and it's published by Blue Orange Games. And the production in this game, first of all, is really, really good. It's wow, yeah. Have to say that up front. The quality of the tiles, the cardboard, the artwork, top-notch job. This is a very inexpensive game, an affordable game, a very portable game, right, that can be played pretty much anywhere. A little bit of background, the Spiel des Jahres is a yearly award that is given to, they have actually broken it up into 3 different categories here in recent years. One for a kid's game, one for a family weight game, and one for what they consider an advanced game. This won the main prize, which is the family style game of the year. So that really is a big deal for those of you who aren't aware of it. This is just a really wonderful, light family game, and we're going to show you now how to set it up.
How you set up Kingdomino is every player gets this 1x1 starter tile. Then everyone gets one of these castles and then one of these kings.
In your player color, right?
Yes. But if it's in a 2-player game, you get the 2 kings. Then you set out 4 tiles in number order. They have a number on the back. That's how you determine the order of these. Then you choose a first player, and then you can begin. The
number of tiles that you use in the game is going to be determined by the number of players as well, right? There are 48 tiles.
48 tiles.
And so you basically take out 12 every time you lose a player. So a 3-player game, you're going to use 36. A 2-player game, you're going to use 24, right? Kingdomino is played in a series of rounds. In a 3- and 4-player game, you're going to play 12 rounds. And in a 2-player game, you play 6 rounds. And in each round, players are going to take turns. The first round, you start with the first player that was determined randomly. And in clockwise order, each player is going to take their king and place it on one of the available tiles for that round. And that's going to do a couple of things. The first thing is you are, in essence, selecting the tile that you want to choose and place into your kingdom for that round. The second thing that you're doing by placing your king on one of these tiles is determining turn order for the subsequent round, for the next round, right? So if I were to place my king here on this 3rd tile, I'm going to be the 3rd player to choose a tile next round. I'll show you how that works in just a second. So quite simply, you go around the table clockwise, and each player chooses a tile for themselves. So for each subsequent round, you're going to take 4 more tiles from the box. This is a really nice insert here that holds the tiles really well and allows you to just draw 4 at a time after you randomize them at the beginning of the game. And then again, you're going to take these tiles and in number order, starting at the top, place these tiles out next to the tiles that are currently on the board from the previous round. And then, starting with the first player now that has been determined by tile selection, that player is going to choose one of the next tiles available for the next round. So they might move from here to here. So they've gone from being first player now to 3rd player. And what they'll do is they'll take that tile and place it into their kingdom. Next player chooses a tile, takes this one, places it. Where's green?
Green is right
here,
there.
Places it into their kingdom. So let's talk a little bit about placement. When you place these tiles into your kingdom, this center 1x1 tile is considered to be wild, meaning all 4 sides are considered to be any of the different landscape types. And there are 6 different landscape types
Yes.
in the game, you must match at least one terrain type or one landscape type when you place the tile. And you must be adjacent to at least one tile. So those are the rules for placing a tile. And that's pretty much it. As long as you are following those rules, you also can never go outside of a 5x5 grid in the base game. So as you build out your kingdom and you have more and more tiles in your kingdom, once you hit either 5 high or 5 wide, you have then defined the outer boundaries of the kingdom. So players will continue this from round to round, moving their king from tile to tile, which is choosing their next tile and their next round player order, placing the existing tile that they just removed their king from into their kingdom until you reach the last round. So what would determine which tile you would want to choose and select from round to round? Well, I'm glad you asked. In addition to the 6 different terrain types in the game, there are also crowns that are printed on some of the tiles for each of the different types of terrain. So what I'm aiming to do is try to put together the largest contiguous, or as large as I can, contiguous terrain types for any of the different types of terrain. You could focus on just a couple of different types of terrain. You could try to, but regardless of how you strategize, you want to try to get as much of the same terrain types as you can clumped together. In addition to getting as many of these crowns as you can. Because at the end of the game, that's how you score. So Ryan, let's talk about that right now.
Once everyone is drafted and placed their last tile, then we score. And how you score is multiplying the number of crowns on each tile. Some have 2 and some even have 3 crowns on them.
Yeah.
By the number of spaces in that area.
For that landscape type.
Yes.
And they have to be contiguous. So for example, if I had 2 separate water or lake areas, I would score those separately. I would count up the number of contiguous tiles I had, or squares I had in the first lake, multiply that by the number of crowns that are in that lake, and then do the same thing for the second lake area. Number of tiles times the number of crowns. And you do that for every single landscape type that you have. Sometimes you'll score nothing. You'll have squares, but you'll have no crowns, right? And that's what you do. You just multiply all of those different terrain types out, add everything together. Whoever has the most points is the winner. And Ryan, who breaks ties in this game?
Well, the person who has the longest contiguous area.
Yeah, the single largest area of any type.
And if there's still a tie, whoever has the most individual crowns
is the winner, right? Past that, then you share the victory.
Yay!
There are a few additional rules that you can choose to play with or without in the game. One is that you get bonus points for having your castle end up at the very middle of your 5x5 kingdom, right? So yeah, it is possible for it not to be there. It's quite possible, actually.
Yeah.
You also can choose to play with a rule that gives you, is it 5 bonus points for having a perfect 5x5 grid? Because you absolutely will have times that you screw up your 5x5 grid.
Yes.
I've done it a lot. So that does happen. So you can play with a bonus 5 points for that. And there's one other extra rule, isn't there?
I know what it is.
Yeah, what's that?
In a 2-player game, instead of building a 5x5, you can build a 7x7.
Oh yeah, like your Mega Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And then it's 2 players and you use all
All the
48 tiles.
Yeah.
And you build a 7x7. Yeah, and you can also add those other rules into that game as well. The having your castle in the center for an extra 10, having a perfect 7x7 for an extra 5, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. That is how you play Kingdomino. Okay, Ryan, what did you think of this game? I think I already know. Go ahead.
I really like it.
Yeah. So Ryan actually bought this game at Origins, which was, it's been a couple months ago already.
Yeah.
Right? So what about this game do you like?
Probably the unique bidding.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. And I know tile laying is maybe your favorite mechanic?
Yes, it is my favorite mechanic.
Yeah, so this was almost gonna end up in your collection no matter what. And it does a really good job at the things that it sets out to do. This is certainly geared right to the people that we are looking to reach at Board Together Games, which is families and people who are new to the hobby. And it does it super well. For me,
It's not
I guess I feel like there's nothing really new here.
Sure.
That's not a dig at the game. To me, it's not anything groundbreaking. It's not anything super new. But I can't stress enough that doesn't mean it's bad by any stretch. It's a great game. It's why it won the Game of the Year, because it is so good at what it does. You also got a really cool promo.
Yeah.
There's not much to it. It doesn't change the game in any way. It's just another castle that you can use in place of one of the castles that came with the game. It's got some really nice artwork on it. So kind of a neat thing there that you got for free by purchasing it at Origins. Is there anything that you don't like about the game?
It doesn't include a score pad. A lot of times I've played this game and I have to restart because I didn't remember.
Right. Unless you're writing it down, even using a calculator, because you have so many different areas that you need to include in that final score. Yeah, it's better just to use a piece of paper and a pencil. Plus, it builds your math skills. I would say my favorite things about this game are, first off, the 2-player mega game, the 7x7 grid. That's really great. To me, that feels more like a game, right? But the thing that bums me out about that is it's only 2 players. So, but I do like the fact that is a variant on the game.
You could just get another copy and play. You can play 4-player mega
I don't know how that would work with the weight of the game.
True.
I guess it would.
Would be a
But what if you drew 2 of the same number tile? Well, I guess you just put them next to each other, right? That might work. If anybody knows, if anybody's ever tried that, put that in the comments below. If you've tried playing with 2 copies of this game at a 4-player 7x7, let us know if that works. I'm very interested. Something else I really like about this game is, you mentioned it, was the way that turn order is chosen. And it works just as good in a 2-player game. And that is another thing I like about the game, is the fact that it plays excellent at every player count. There's no bad player count. Okay, time for the part that doesn't matter at all, which is our ratings, right? We say this a lot. Ratings don't mean anything. We do it because it's fun. We don't do it for really any other reason. You should look at these games and decide by what you're seeing and what we're saying whether it's something that will work for you. And having said that, how do you rate this game, Ryan?
9.
9 out of 10? Excellent. Probably for all the things that we've already talked about. Yes, we say that all the time. And I'm going to give this,
I think I know what it is.
That's an 8.
Really? I thought you were going to do a 7.5.
No, it's an 8. Because it's a really good game.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, there are a lot of other games that I would probably choose over this one if given a choice. But if anybody says to me, hey, Dave, you want to play Kingdomino? Sure, I'll play Kingdomino. Right? I like it. It's good. And it's an 8 for me.
And for our rating for family friendliness, we're going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10.
Yes, we are. Because it is just charming as all get out. It is a very well produced game. A beautiful game to look at. There are so many neat little things to discover in the artwork on these tiles. There are, there's a little wizard boy that's fighting a giant spider in one of the forest tiles. There's boats sitting on the docks. There's shadows of sea monsters and giant dragons and things that are being cast on the ground on some of these landscapes. It's really a joy to play and to look at and discover some of these things. Bruno Cathala does great work. 10 out of 10 for family friendliness. So that wraps it up, everybody, for Kingdomino, an amazing little game that we do highly recommend that you check out. And speaking of that, I will leave a link in the description for somewhere where you can do exactly that. Also leave links in the description for all the ways that you can reach us on Twitter, on Facebook, on our website, all those things. So check that out as well. Check out Gamer Threads, board game related t-shirts. They are super cool. It helps us out if you go visit them. And that's one way that you can support us at Board Together Games. And we're really making a push right now to grow the channel. So like the video, comment, subscribe, all those amazing things. We really appreciate it. And remember, everybody, if you are bored together,
Board together.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. in choosing a tile and choosing a tile and the so by king, which now I'm all confused. Let's look at the rule book.
Yeah. Family friendliness. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. And remember, if you're bored together.
Bored together!